Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. We are moving into Mark chapter 6, and Jesus returns to His hometown of Nazareth. And so I'll pick it up, verse 1, Mark chapter 6. And Jesus went out from there, and He came into His hometown, and His disciples followed Him. And when the Sabbath had come, Jesus began to teach in the synagogue. And the many listeners were astonished, saying, "Where did this man get these things? And what is this wisdom given to him? And how is he able to perform such miracles by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James, and Joseph, and Judas, and Simon? Are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his hometown and among his own relatives and in his own household." And Jesus could do no miracles there, except that He laid His hands upon a few sick people and healed them. And He marveled at their unbelief. And He was going around the villages teaching. So this is a pretty interesting passage after we've seen Jesus do such powerful miracles. You know, we saw the demon-possessed man set free. We saw the woman who had been bleeding for years healed. We saw Jesus raise a synagogue ruler's daughter who had died, raised her to life. And so now He comes back to His hometown. He's teaching in the synagogue. And the people are astonished at His teaching, and they're wondering, where did He get such wisdom? How does He teach with such authority? How does He do such miracles? And at the same time, they recognize, wait a minute, He's just a carpenter. And He's the son of Mary, and we know His family, we know His brothers, we know His sisters. And so it says that they took offense at Him. We could literally translate it, they stumbled. They stumbled over Jesus. They took offense at Jesus. And Jesus wasn't able to do many miracles there because they had no faith in Him. He healed a few people, but Jesus was actually marveling at them, at their lack of faith. And so really pretty interesting. Two things I want us to think about today. So the first is, I think maybe some of you can relate to Jesus in terms of being rejected by your hometown, by your family, by the people that, knew you as you were growing up. I can think of any number of people kind of across the years where it just seemed like their families held them back, their friends held them back, that the Lord was doing a new thing in their lives, that the Lord was enabling them to grow and to live differently, maybe break some cycles that had been going on for generations. And the families, instead of celebrating this and being excited and encouraging, their loved ones to go forward with Jesus, instead they end up kind of dragging them back down, pulling them back in. Wait a minute, we know you. We know where you come from. You're one of us, and you're going to stay one of us, and not letting them grow. And maybe you find yourself in that battle. The good news, Jesus went through that. And so you're not alone. And Jesus did not allow Himself to kind of be shackled by the expectations of His hometown, to be shackled by expectations of relatives and people that thought, now we know you, that you can't be doing this. You're just, a carpenter. You're just Mary's son. You're just one of us. And if you feel yourself being kind of held back, just know that Jesus has been through that. And Jesus broke the barrier. He broke that barrier for you. And so that you can follow Him and become who He created you to be, who He saved you to be, and not be trapped in kind of the expectations of family and friends and community. So that's one major aspect of this. And then I think the second major aspect of this passage, recognizing who Jesus is. We want to make sure that we don't stumble. And it's kind of like, which camp are we going to be in? Are we going to be in the camp that recognizes Jesus' authority and we place our faith in Jesus and we're all in? Or are we going to be part of that camp that kind of is offended and stumbles and isn't willing to buy in to Jesus? They knew Jesus, or at least they thought they did, and they weren't going to buy in, even though they heard about the miracles, even though they experienced firsthand the power of his teaching. Nope, they weren't going to buy in. They stumbled. This can't be the Messiah. We know who he is. And so I hope that we're kind of like the people who believe in chapter 5, Jairus, don't be afraid, just believe. And the woman believing, and that demon-possessed man who came to Jesus and recognized that Jesus had all authority. We want to be, believers. We don't want to be stumblers. We don't want to be offended at Jesus. So that's kind of the two-part message for today. Wherever you find yourself scattered, whatever you might be up against, if you feel like people are trying to hold you down, hold you back from becoming who you can be in Jesus, realize that Jesus went through that and he broke through that for you. And then second, just make sure that we're not ones who stumble or who are offended at Jesus. We don't want Jesus to marvel at our lack of faith. Rather, we want to marvel at Jesus. And we want to believe in him and totally embrace who he is and his authority to rule our lives. God bless. Have a great day. And don't stumble, but follow faithfully.